Alright, what's up, guys? It's me, Kitchen Confidence, and today is the first day of daylight savings, and it's kind of wrecked me. I didn't expect it to hit me so hard, but yeah, we're gonna do our little stream here, and I'm changing it up a little bit. I moved my camera, my laptop, and all that to my counter where I usually bring over the camera and equipment so you guys can see the stove. But I'm doing it this way and trying to see how it works so that maybe I could just prep here the whole time. That way I don't have to set up all the equipment and make it easier for you guys so you don't have to wait every time the damn cat gets the butter. So just doing a little bit different here. I'm gonna make congee today or rice porridge, and I'm gonna do well my version of it, and it's basically rice porridge. You have so many different variations of this dish, and it's very popular in Southeast Asia, and there are just so many different ways that you can do it. So I personally I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. So this, what I'm doing, I don't think I've ever tried to put one together that was more breakfast themed. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. The first thing I'm gonna do is got my cutting board set up right here, but I've got this pot. I'm just gonna add maybe one. I think it's a half cup of rice. I don't know exactly. I haven't ever thought to measure out this cup. This little cup that comes with your bag of rice, or it comes with the ones that I get. Oh, it is actually 1 cup of rice. So 1 cup of rice. Now I'm gonna add to that water and an excessive amount of water because what we're gonna do is cook the rice past the point where it's gonna be done, and we're just gonna let the rice break down. Now, a lot of places will do this stage. They'll soak the rice overnight, or some other people will take the rice, the day old rice, and use that because it's already cooked and then it's easier and faster to break down. So you can do it those different ways if that's what you want to do. I don't have any rice right now, and I didn't think about what I was going to stream this morning, so I'm just using fresh rice, uncooked rice, and I'm going to get some water into this pot. Just add some water, maybe a couple of inches, 3 inches or so more above the level of the rice, and then just start letting this cook down. Hey, what's going on, Miss BBT? How you doing? So I'm just gonna add some water in here. I'm gonna use some of this refrigerator water, which is filtered, so I have it for a reason, so I might as well use it. So the good thing about having congee or rice porridge is the fact that it it's good for me. All right, that's about how much water I've got right now. It's about 2 inches, maybe inch and a half, maybe of water. So I'm just setting that on the stove now, off to the side, and then I'm gonna raise the heat, raise the heat on there to get it up to a boil. Then I'm gonna drop it down to a simmer. Yeah, the daylight savings sucks. I am so tired. I was up late and kind of forgot about the losing that hour, so I'm kind of groggy right now. And I forgot to do my laundry for work, so hopefully it's gonna be dry and ready to go so I can get into work. And yeah, everything is kind of off right now. Let's see if I can turn my light off. Uh, okay, that doesn't make too much of a difference. It's dark for me. I'm really glad that you could catch the stream. I This is a last second thing that I threw together today. Let me see if I can drop that a little. Yeah, it's kind of a last second thing for me, but something that I figured I could make right now because one problem I have working in kitchens, it's very dangerous to not stay hydrated, and I have a very big problem with that. So having this for breakfast will keep me hydrated very well because it's basically, the rice soaks up the water, and when you eat it, you're taking in all that water, and you will end up having to go to the bathroom to pee a lot, but you're hydrated. So it really, really helps me keep hydrated. I've had a kidney stone, and it was basically because I wasn't hydrating, and I'm working in kitchens, sweating, and running around. So it's a good thing for me. So it's a good bonus for me when I make this. So flavoring and seasonings and stuff like that. I'm using because I thought, all right, breakfast. So I've got last night I did a basics knife skills and safety. So I've got some potatoes left over from that. So I'm gonna try to cut those thin, slice them thin, and then I'm gonna fry that up because I want to get some crispiness out of that. I've got some onions from the stream last night, diced onions. So I'm gonna caramelize that. I'm gonna use some eggs, and I got 2 eggs, green onion, and cilantro for some nice color and flavor. Let me just show you instead of talk about it. So this is pretty much what I've got right now. That's gonna We're gonna add it into there once it starts to cook. But I've also got some salted soybeans, just like that. And that's gonna add the saltiness because it's gonna be very bland if you don't add a lot of flavors to it. Now I've also got some bacon and some garlic. I'm out of garlic, like fresh garlic, but I already have this pre-minced garlic that works in a pinch. So I'm gonna be using all of that stuff. And I've already got my onions cut, diced up. Rice is gonna start to boil right now. So what I'm really gonna do is this cilantro, the cilantro, I'm gonna add that into the pot with the rice. Now it's gonna take away the color from it, but it's gonna add a lot of flavor into the plain white rice and just water. You could use chicken stock if you want. You could use, any flavored liquid, beef stock, pork stock, whatever, and it'll add a lot of flavor to it because the rice is going to really absorb the flavors and kind of mute those flavors. So you want to bring in as much flavor as you can. So let's get to our little cutting board here. My cat is getting a little cranky, trying to get some attention. So I'm gonna just get my knife, my little bunch of cilantro. So Miss BBT, are you a streamer as well? I haven't been able to catch your stream, I don't think. Just doing a rough chop on this. I'm gonna set aside some of this for garnish. But oh man, I gotta lean back so my shadow's not over the cutting board. One thing I don't like about this kitchen is where the overhead lights are. It creates so many shadows, and I didn't think of it as an issue until I started streaming and doing YouTube videos. Oh, that's right. You were doing sushi the other day, yes. Alright, so I'm just gonna take, let's see, I'll take a little bit of this here. Just add that into the pot. Yeah, I would have stayed to watch the stream. Yesterday was a bit of a run around and try to get some stuff done around the house kind of day. But I am glad to have caught your stream and see what you were doing. What's up, Panda? How you doing, man? doing a little bit of congee rice porridge. Um, what I was, what I had asked of you if you had it while you were in China. I'm just doing my version of a breakfast congee. So it is kind of Americanized version of this. My version of it. Make the rounds. Oh, your sound is off. Someone please tell him what I just said. um, because I'm using my phone to read the chat and I can't really type with it. But yes, Panda, thanks for stopping in, and hopefully your day goes well. Let's see, I need to wipe my board real quick. I just gotta get my little cleaning rag. How'd the sushi turn out, Miss? I don't know if you want me to call you Miss or Miss BBT or BBT. Alright, so right now our rice is bubbling away, so I turned it down to medium. I'll wipe my knife off, wipe cutting board. And I'm adding this early on so it can start to add some flavor into our... There's no such thing as too much sushi. So let's see if I'm gonna just real quickly move the camera so you guys can see that right there. Oh, now I've got a problem with my wires. So it's just bubbling away. I've turned it down and got the cilantro in there. It's starting to change the color a little bit. It's got a little green hue to it, but we're gonna just keep working on our prep here. I need a third camera is what I need. Real quick, I'm gonna just switch up a little thing. Oh, okay. Was I there when he jumped on and bought you a new knife? No, I wasn't. That's exciting. Nice new toy in the kitchen. I'm gonna take some of my salted soybeans and add about a tablespoon in there. What kind of knife did he get you? Maybe I add 2 tablespoons. Yeah, that looks about good. So over time, I am going to add some more water to this as needed because you don't want your rice to dry out and start just burning on the bottom. With a D. A D. It's not this brand, not this one, is it? This is a shun. This is the knife that I use. I've got a few of these. Oh, I won't be able to click links. Or if I do, it kind of takes my phone to there and I have trouble with this phone. Let's see, what can we do now? I'm going to set this aside. What I'm actually going to do is, let's see, I do have a little bit more prep to do. I'm going to take some of these potatoes. This is a potato that I used last night for a demo on knife cuts and knife safety. Delstrong. The hammered finish. I have not heard of that brand. Oh, 1 second. The cat is at the door. Alright, sorry about that, guys. So these are the scraps from my knife cutting demo and stream. So all I'm doing for this is I'm gonna cut these pretty thin because I want to try to fry them up in a pan. I don't have a lot of oil. You know, I might be able to fry it. Yeah. I'm gonna cook off some bacon for this too. So I'll fry this in that bacon grease. So I'm just gonna line them up. Do some nice, really thin slices on this, as this is going to end up being a nice crispy garnish for my congee. I wish the light was not just right overhead though. And how's that looking? It's not too bad. My freaking big head is in the way. What's up, Jabber? How you doing, man? How's daylight savings treating you? Cause it's already screwed up my day. So that's pretty thin. So that'll fry up pretty good once I get it into a pan. And we're gonna treat this like a nice crispy garnish over the top once we finish with our congee. Hey, what's up, a bear in mind? I'm just doing a little rice porridge or congee and trying to turn it into a breakfast style congee. Are you guys familiar with what that is, congee? Well, I think you got more important things to worry about. Alright, that'll be good right there. So what I'm gonna do is get some paper towels and dry off this. It's cooked in the same way. Let me show you real quick. So I've got this in the pot right now. That's rice. I've got some salted soybean and I've got cilantro that I chopped in there right now. And it's just cooking together, getting some flavors, getting to know each other. And once the rice starts to break down, then I'm going to start adding the other things to it to help it out. And oh, my cats are being annoying right now. So yeah, so I'm just prepping up the other things I'm going to add to this. So right now the potatoes are kind of wet still, so I'm going to just dry them off on this paper towel. And then we'll keep them off to the side for right now. This is actually might brown, so I might actually throw them in water, back into the water first. Unless I fry it right now. But I'd like to keep them as crisp and freshly fried as possible. So we'll just hold that off to the side, and if I need to do that again, I'll just cut some more. Because I've got a lot of scrap potatoes from last night's stream. I don't know if any of you guys were able to catch the stream. I did a knife safety and knife cuts video stream. Sorry, I'm used to doing videos for YouTube, but it went pretty well. The knife safety part, knife skills, it really showed me that I'm with the classic cuts, classic French knife cuts. The sizes I'm off, and I used to be dead on all the time. when I was still freshly out of culinary school and all that, I was always on the mark. But over time, my knife cuts have gotten off. They're a little bigger, still consistent, still good knife cuts, but they're not hitting that classic mark. So if you watch that the replay, just well, you will hear a story about when I stabbed myself in my hand in culinary school because I was thinking knife safety, and this will be a nice little reminder of how important it is to be safe when you're holding a knife. So if you can, let me see. I'm gonna move the camera and try to. All right, I'm gonna try to leave the camera here like this, so you guys can see what's going on, and then I'm just gonna prep on my cutting board. Oh, now my cutting board, my my cord for my camera is running across my cutting board, so I did not think of that. Panda, I don't know if you can hear. You still can't hear. We were talking about knives, but I'm just moving stuff around right now so I can do some prep. You guys can watch the pot bubbling away. And I've got it on a medium right now, but you can see all that water is starting to cook down and get absorbed in the rice. So I'm going to add a little more water to this. Yeah, see, cook with Kate. She uses a shun knife. Hex dump curious codes. He uses a shun knife too. So right now, as far as I know, the three of us use the same brand of knives. So it's always kind of funny that I'll run into other people here on Twitch using it, and I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's just kind of fun that we have this one other thing in common. Yeah, the thing about knives is you should use what is comfortable for you. The same knife is not going to feel right for somebody else as it does for me. My knife is going to be like I like using this knife, and I enjoy it. It's very comfortable for me. I love the way it feels in my hand. This is a right-handed knife, but I still have gotten used to handling it because if you can see, it's got this little, it's not just a round handle, it's got a ergonomic kind of grip on there. So it's supposed to help with your grip when you hold this, but it's for a right-hander. But I've been using it for quite a while now, and I've gotten used to that feeling in my hand. So what I'm going to do, I've got this second pan back here. I'm going to dice up some bacon and then add that into the pan and start rendering that down. And then we're going to take the bacon out of there and add our potatoes to crisp them up. Into the pot, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of garlic and just combine that all together. Now, if you guys have never tried this, it's really, really easy to do. It's filling, and you can customize it however way you want. That's the great thing about congee. But like for me, I've grown up eating it with my brothers and sisters, and we'd always have these really big parties, and like family gatherings and parties and stuff, and my parents would cook this just giant pot, like this big, a pot that much congee in a pot this big, and we would just all get a bowl of Hey, Magnite, do you think it's stupid how typically healthy food costs more in the US than junk food does? Um, Let me answer that after I just finish with this little story. Um, but yeah, they would make seafood congee, and it was just so amazing. And I haven't gotten around to trying to make it myself, but every time I make congee for myself or my wife, I always think back to that big pot of just congee, and everybody would grab some and eat. It was awesome. But the thing about healthy food, the cost of healthy food in America compared to junk food. The junk food is very, it's not good for you, and it's the lower quality product. So if it doesn't cost much, they don't need to sell it for much. The healthier options, it it costs more to produce that kind of stuff. But if if we as a country or as just a society start demanding more responsibility with our food and sources of food and stuff like that, I would I would imagine that it would shift the ideas and the thoughts behind where our food comes from and stuff like that. And hopefully it would improve the supply and that, supply and demand, so it would shift the cost and stuff with that. But I'm not I'm not an advocate for just straight healthy food or whatever. I eat McDonald's, I eat fast food. You eat what you like and enjoy it, then nobody should have the right to tell you, hey, stop eating that. It's your life that you're living. But having the option of healthier foods is always great. And when we can, my wife and I, when we are able to have a nice piece of land, you can bet that we're going to be having a garden out there, growing our own fresh produce and all that stuff. We had chickens before, and getting fresh eggs in the morning were so nice. Fresh eggs taste so much better than the commercial eggs. They The shells are nice hard shells, not the flimsy like you tap it and it'll just crack so easily. You had to work to break the shell on our eggs from our chickens. But yeah, um, it's supply and demand. Right now, if the demand isn't there and the costs, they have to balance out their costs and just everything that goes into producing the like organic stuff and the higher quality ingredients and products. So it's all everything is factored into that cost. So I mean, it's not an easy thing to just come up with numbers and figures and stuff, but you know, everything in moderation. Just don't eat junk food every day, and you'll be all right. But you are what you eat, so you gotta watch out. And I hope that kind of answered your question. So this is starting to get thicker again, so I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I might have overestimated how much rice to use for this, but that's all right because I'll probably take this to work with me. A little bit more water. I'm gonna turn up the heat. But let's see. So right now I'm just gonna in this pan back here. You can see that pan back there. I've got some bacon, so I'm gonna dice up some bacon and add that into the pan so I can start cooking it down and getting some nice crispy bacon in here. And then when I prep, I like to prep all of my non-protein first and do my proteins last. That way I don't have to swap cutting boards and clean it up and all that. It's just a way for me to get all my stuff done and clear off my cutting board and be done with it. Well, actually, I haven't cut my green onions yet. Did I? Oh yeah, I did. No wait, that was cilantro. Green onions. So I've got this green onion. I just trimmed off the end of the green onion, and then I'm gonna cut it on the bias, the way I have it cut right there on the end. Just gonna keep cutting it that way to get a nice bias cut on there, and that's gonna be garnished for our congee. Always keep your fingers tucked in. Keep your knife against your knuckles. That way you know where your knife is at all times, and you will lessen the chance that you cut yourself. I need a third camera. I need to get another one of these web cameras to use so that there's so I have a camera on the stove, a camera on my prep board, and then my laptop that I'm using I can use for my talking to. Alright. So we got green onions are nice and cut. Right there. Just diced up. One didn't dice up. Cut on a bias. We're going to use that, set it aside with our cilantro. Then we'll use both of these for some garnish. And now I will go ahead and cut the bacon. Gonna dice those up. And for me, I like to have my eggs. I like eating eggs like more than anything. And here I'm talking about moderation. I used to eat eggs like 3 to 6 eggs a day. And it's one of those things I can just eat all the time. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I can just eat eggs and I'll be happy. But the eggs that I'm gonna use eggs in this, and I'm gonna put them in whole and kind of soft poach them into this congee. So the bacon, all I'm doing with the bacon is dicing them up. So there's nothing really, nothing hard to that. It's just me dicing them up, and then I'm going to add them into the pan. So I've diced them up just like this, and we're just gonna throw this into the pan. Well, I didn't even know I had it on. We'll set that on low, because for some reason I turned it up too high. So we're just gonna let that cook down. So now I've got my pot here of the congee just cooking away. I've got the pot in the back with the bacon cooking down. And we're just gonna let both of those work. And I got some bacon smell coming through right now, which is always good. It's gonna be a lot of bacon, more bacon than I need. That's alright. Everybody loves bacon. You guys got some plans for today? It's Sunday. I don't know where you guys are, but it's a nice sunny day out here in the Pacific Northwest, here in Oregon. And unfortunately for me, it's a work day, so I get to be indoors all day. But that is life. So I'm going to grab my knife and cutting board and just clean it off. Get that washed off real quick. Generally, I don't like to have my knife sit and stay dirty for long. So I try to wash it as soon as I'm done with it and put it away. So this dish isn't very hard to do. I mean, you can customize it how you want. So you can kind of make it as simple or as complex as you decide. The seafood congee that my parents used to make, it had um, it had all kinds of seafood in there, and it took a while, especially with a pot that size. It just was a huge pot feeding about 30 to 40 people, and by the end of the day, we'd have leftovers still. But that was fine because, we'd eat it the next day or the day after, and it was just a bonus to having so much kanji. Got my rice in my pot boiling and bubbling away. My bacon is cooking down and crisping up. So everything is coming together now. I'm stirring it up to make sure that it's not sticking on the bottom. You can see the rice, it is cooked. It's past the point of being done, and it's just starting. Now it's going to start to break down. So that's what we want out of this. And as it breaks down, it's going to get thicker. I didn't wash the rice, so there's all that extra starch in there too. It was fun. I mean, I come from a big family of let's see, I've got one, two, I got four sisters and I had six brothers. So I come from a very big family, and food was a big part of our. Food was, for me, food was always like something that was always a highlight of our day. We would all sit around the table and have dinner together. So it was the time of the day that we got to talk. I didn't I didn't talk a lot at the dinner table because I'm the youngest in my family, and I would just listen to everybody talk, and my dad would tell us, basic life lessons and stuff like that. So food was always big for me. I every time I think of really good food and stuff, I think of my family and how we would spend our time, and always the big parties and gatherings. We'd have, you know, do a lot of grilling, outdoor grilling and stuff. And my dad would fire up. He'd had he has this giant wok. He had this giant wok that he would cook, like he'd made huge batches of pad thai and stuff like that. And we would just all stand around with a paper plate and just wait until it was done. He'd just start putting heaping like just spoonfuls and stuff of the food onto the plate. You'd walk over, sit down, and under the shade of a tree and just eat and enjoy the company, the music. And it was a whole thing. It was really, really, really good times, good memories. And I try to, I try to honor my parents by cooking and doing the best I can to replicate what they made for us. But I'm like, unfortunately, I wasn't never allowed in the kitchen because they didn't want me in the kitchen. They wanted me doing like either housework or stuff, or going outside being a kid and playing and stuff. So I was never allowed in the kitchen. So I never got to learn any of these things I grew up eating. And when I went to culinary school, my parents were, they were proud of me. And that's when I started asking my dad, like, hey, can you show me how to do this? So, finally, I'm an adult now, and he's like, all right, come on. And we go into the kitchen, and I've got my little notepad with me, and I'm ready to take all these notes. So he starts cooking, starts adding stuff into his wok, and I'm like, hey, wait, how much of that did you put in there? And he looks at me and he like kind of kind of squints his eyes, and he's like, with his ladle, huge ladle that he used, he'd be like this much, and then he'd throw it in. I'm like, okay, that looked like 4 tablespoons. Then he'd grab some like fish sauce or some kind of liquid, start pouring it into there. I'm like, wait, how much did you add of that? And he's like squeezing it and letting it run into the wok, and he's like, that much. And I'm like, okay, that was like a 4 second count. And it was just like, he didn't measure a lot of the times. So that's, I don't measure, and I think that's where I get it from. That my parents didn't do a lot of measuring. They just cooked off of taste. So that's the same way that I do it. Hey, what's up, Sam? How you doing? Thank you for joining in on the stream. We're making some breakfast congee. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Just my version of it. Yeah, you know what? You gotta cook with your heart. And my thought has always been that recipes are great. Recipes are a nice guideline to learning how to cook something. But once you've got it down, you know how to do it, make it your own. Have you had it before, Sam? This is just a loose version that I do. I've never learned of any specific method. Oh, well, specific like ingredients and stuff like that. I know that there are a lot of places. The Philippines, they have a version of it, I think, called juk, and it's the same, basically the same thing, a rice porridge. So I've got, turn this there, you can see my bacon is crisping up. And our little bowl here, let's see if I can get this closer. I don't want to melt my tripod. But yeah, I've added a little bit more water. And then our bacon is still going and doing its thing. Yeah, if you go to, see, I don't, there are Chinese restaurants that will serve congee, but I don't know of, I've never gotten it at a restaurant just because I don't know, I like the way I make it, and like they'll serve it kind of more on the bland side so that you can add your own like seasonings, soy sauce or like chili oil and stuff like that to and add it to your preference. But when I make it at home, I just add everything into it already and then just let the flavors that I like sit there in the pot. My wife doesn't like it so much. I've made it for her a few times, and she'll pass on the congee. She doesn't like the texture, and she's just not a fan of it. But when I introduced her to durian, I don't know if any of you have ever tried durian. I brought that the first time, and the first time we bought some, I was like, "You are gonna hate this," and it was frozen. I let it thaw out, and then it started to smell. And if you don't know what durian is, it is known as the king of fruits. It is banned in certain parts of Singapore because the odor is so bad. For some people, they find the odor very offensive, and you can get the range of opinions where it smells like dead, rotting flesh to baby poop to rotting onions or rotting, flesh and sewage and stuff like that. You get so many varying opinions on it. But hey, what's up, Wing? What's going on? Everybody, Wing is a paper artist. I don't know how else I can explain it to you. She's got some really cool streams. You guys should check it out. She does a lot of paper art, and she has a store on Etsy, right? And I think you also have like a website. I wasn't sure. I don't remember exactly. But Yeah, she is a great, relaxing streamer to watch for paper art. It's a really crafty artwork that I can't do because I think as much as I handle knives all day, I think with an exacto knife or I think you use a scalpel, I would seriously cut myself open. I don't cut myself with a knife, but I will cut myself like with a chef knife or kitchen knives, but I will cut myself with pocket knives and all kinds of other things that are not kitchen related. So yeah, that's me. Oh, what the hell? It's the Cho train. What's up, guys? Thank you for the raid. Um, I don't know why none of my alerts or anything are working. Um, hmm, none of the alerts are working. Interesting. Okay, well, um, how was your eggs Benedict? We are trying right now. I need to let my cat out because he sees another cat and wants to fight. And he needs to defend the territory. Loving that emote. Love it every time I see it. Alright, 1 second. I need to go. I need to see where to go. Oh, alright. My cat already chased off the other, the intruding cat. So this is starting to break down. As you can see, sorry, I need to drink more water. Remember what I was talking about with me and water? I don't drink enough. Okay, so got my little tasting bowl. This will be easier to see this way. So as you can see, hopefully you can see, it's starting to break down now, the rice. And that's what you want. And people have varying degrees of how they want the rice to go. I personally like it to just be completely mush. But that's just me because I just I just like it that way. It's easier to digest, easier to break down and all that stuff, and it's less work to eat. Less chewing. So this thing is pretty flavorless right now. When have you made congee yourself? That my voice cracking again. Water. Thank you so much for coming into the stream, Win. Alright, our bacon is nice and crispy now. Yeah, I should have used a bigger pot. Because I'm going to add a little bit more water. Always adding water to this thing. And the thing is, even if it gets thick and you don't see a lot of water there in the pot, the rice is soaked. It has soaked up all that water and moisture, so you still have a lot of liquid in there. You just don't realize it. Alright, this bacon needs to come out now. Because if we take a peek at that, render down the bacon nice and crispy. And honestly, this the congee right now is pretty bland. So I'm just actually going to dump this. I should save it for a garnish. Garnish over the top of the plate. So yeah, let's do that. But of course, I have blocked all of my dishes like I always do every single time. So I'm gonna have to reposition that. Thank you so much for all you guys hanging out with me. Oops. No, the cat doesn't have the butter. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm going to get the bacon out of this pan. Just add that onto a plate to hold for now. I'm going to use that to garnish it over the top before we before we um, before we devour this, or I devour this. And let's give this a good wipe down. I've got my pan back there again. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit because we have our onions still, diced onions. And I'm just gonna add some of this diced onion. I'm gonna add that into the pan of bacon grease. And we're gonna get some caramelization going with that. Let's see, about that much. How much? That much. So, got our bacon nice and crispy. Our congee's nice and cooked down. And when I'm stirring this right now, I can feel it on the bottom. It's starting to stick. That's why I'm stirring it, so it's not gonna start to sit and burn. Although I do enjoy a nice bit of the congee where it's got some crispiness on the bottom to it, and then you stir it up and you get a nice textural difference and like a surprising crunch every now and then. But this is coming together right now pretty well. And let's see, onions going, so I'll put that there, and then we've just got our eggs, and that will be good. I'm gonna add some soy sauce to this right away. No, I'm just gonna plate this up like this, and then just kind of show you, like, once it's plated up, we're gonna add the toppings, and then I'll season it as I try it, and then we'll just go from there. But if I were to just plate this up for somebody else, I would do it like this. What's in here right now, I would leave it as is, and then have some of the ingredients off to the side if they want to add the bacon, if they want the onions and stuff like that. I am going to drop an egg in here. I think just one egg, but more closer to when we're ready to serve it, is I like to have a soft poached egg in my congee. Sometimes I'll break it up and stir it into the congee beforehand, or I'll save it for when I serve and sit down to eat it. But for right now, I will just do a soft poached egg in here and let that cook up right at the end of this cooking for the congee. So a lot of the rice is breaking up now. That's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna season this with a little bit of pepper. It's a really, really great thing to have on a cold morning or on a cold day. It just warms you up and gets you going, and it's just comfort food. This is like the epitome of comfort food right here. My cat is whining that for some reason he will drag clothes out of our bedroom and just drag it around the house, meowing like we're not home. It's very interesting. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's definitely doing this thing right now. Onions are frying up. We've got a congee right here. The salted soybeans didn't add as much flavor as I had thought they were going to add. I added 2 tablespoons or so, but I could have added more. Let's just try this, see what we're working with. Well, it's peppery now. When I get the cilantro, a little saltiness from the salted soybeans, but otherwise it's pretty bland. Onions are frying up just like that. All of the stuff that we're going to add in the end is going to be where the flavor comes from. I don't know, can you guys hear my cat? He's pretty much just singing the song of his people right now. He's so lonely, but I'm right here. Alright. So the onions are fried up. I'm going to turn down the congee. I'm going to add the egg into there now. It's starting to bubble away. Yeah, he always does this when my wife leaves for work. And I'm like, I'm right here. You're not alone. He is the neediest cat. He curls up to sleep. Like he'll jump on the bed, on my wife's side of the bed. He does his little routine where he has to walk around the bed, the nightstand, and then she'll lift up the blanket and give him his little space, and he'll go up, curl up next to her, and then go to sleep. He is the neediest cat. I'm just waiting for him to walk out here with something in his mouth. Alright, so the onions are out. Letting the pan of bacon grease heat up again so I can fry the potato. And I'm gonna drop this egg in when we're halfway done with the potatoes. The potatoes started to brown a little bit. It's alright. Oh, he stopped. He stopped crying and he hasn't come out with anything in his mouth. Yeah, guys, so this is pretty easy. As you can see, you're basically just cooking rice down all the way past done, and you flavor it and add what you want into it, and you've basically made yourself some congee. Like, I've done this before where I've roasted some pork belly and then sliced that and served that over the top. Some separately poached an egg and then add that in. Kind of like how you see a lot of ramen is done. I've done it where instead of noodles and broth, I've made congee and then did the same garnishes or same presentation with it. Alright, potatoes going in. Get those crispy. Turn on my hood so nothing goes smoking and setting off the alarm. Alright, frying up some potato strips. I'm going to shake the pans so that they don't get, try to keep them from sticking together while they fry. Alright, let's drop our egg. The egg is going to take a little bit to cook. Such a sunny day out today. I wish I didn't have to go to work. Be a much more fun day if I could stay home, play some Fortnite. Finally, just gonna drop this in and let the heat cook it through. I finally switched my keys on Fortnite, my building keys, and now I can at least protect myself from getting shot and killed from behind by building a wall. And I just now started playing it on the PC. Usually I play it on my Xbox, but I haven't had the chance or funding to get my Xbox subscription back. So I'm playing it on the PC until I can get a subscription again. So the onions are crisping up. Oh, I got some cooking faster than others. Some of these are burning, so I'm going to take them out. When I said cook them, cut them thin, maybe I cut them too thin. That egg is going to start to cook, and takes a little bit to cook the egg. It's hot. I mean, it's really hot, the congee, but it takes a little while for the eggs to cook all the way through, at least to cook the whites. Alright, potatoes are coming out. Well, the one thing I kind of thought for this was just the components of a breakfast: eggs, bacon, potatoes. And the egg is going to sit in here and just cook. Where is it? See, it's not cooked all the way through yet. I don't know if you can see it right there. Basically, I've separated the whites out from the yolk, and I'm waiting for the yolk to start to cook. And you can see now the egg whites right there cooking. Woo. I'm going to get a big old bowl to just drop this into the bowl, and then we'll put this together. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this daylight savings day, first day of daylight savings. Kind of feel like I woke up from drinking too much last night because I don't feel myself. Don't feel like myself. All right. So let's just pour this. Let me see. I'm gonna move the camera. There's not gonna be a a beautiful way to do this. All I'm gonna do is pour the congee into the bowl. So all right. So simply pouring this in. Just like that. And I think you guys caught a glimpse of the egg there. The egg yolk. So now, there it is. Oh, I think I broke it. Boop. Coax it to the top. Now, let's get our bacon. Get our fried up onions. But let's break up the colors a little bit. Set those on that side. Here's our fried potatoes. I've got too many too many dark colors going on. I gotta learn from Cho. Come on, Cho. Actually, Cho does a really awesome job with his food and his plating, so I gotta just watch what he's doing. Little cilantro right there. Little green onions. Right there. Then, for me, the thing that I will always eat everything with, sambal. Let's just do a couple of spoonfuls here. Well, let's just put a nice glob. Right there. Alright. So, we've got our nice bowl of breakfast congee. Not too bad. It's a pretty big bowl. Let's see what it's gonna taste like. I gotta take a picture of this real quick. Where is my camera? 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna move this so I can take a picture really quick. That way I can put up a nice little picture real quick. I'm still trying to figure out how to take better pictures. I'm not very good at it, but I think I've gotten better with a couple of my pictures for sure. Okay, there's that. Really sorry, guys. Now I gotta grab this phone to take a picture. we've got our bowl here. Sorry about that. All right, so let's give this big old bowl a taste. Um, I don't know what. I'm just gonna really mess it all up now and stir it all together and combine everything. But our egg yolk still nice and runny right there. Did cook a little bit on the outside, but that's gonna happen as it sits. This thing, as you can see, it's still steaming. It's super hot. I'm just gonna add everything, mix it up. Got that hot sauce, and I may add some soy sauce to this, but yeah, it smells really good right now. Once the green onions hit the bowl of congee, it kind of released the smells a bit, so it's really smelling awesome right now. And now it doesn't look like it doesn't look as appetizing as it once did. Let's give this a taste and see. Well, I'm getting a lot of the onion and potato. And I think maybe that's because that's what I had gotten, and the heat from the sambal. But I could use some soy sauce in here for sure. Something's wrong with my chat thingy. Okay. If you guys were saying anything, I don't think I got it. Alright, let's grab some soy sauce here. Oh, it's so, the thing is, as soon as I tried it, it just took me back to childhood. And I don't want to work. I do not want to go to work right now. I just want to sit down, hang out, relax. But that's what good food will do. It'll bring back those memories. And this is doing that for me right now. It's a pretty big bowl too. It'll be good because it'll keep me hydrated throughout my day, and I've got a long day ahead of me. So I've just added some soy sauce to it. Low sodium soy sauce, because I just tend to buy low sodium now. So hopefully it'll add enough saltiness to this now. Got a little bit of that bacon in there too. This is a good, successful little dish here. Yeah, I think, like the thickness it is right now, it's a lot thicker than I actually like. Hey, what's going on? Moogie? I don't know if you want me to call you Moogie or Moo or Mugiwara. So congee, if you're not familiar with congee, it's basically a rice porridge. I've got a soft poached or soft poached, soft boiled egg in here, some bacon, crispy bacon, some fried potatoes, some fried onions, cilantro, salted soybean, and green onions, and a little pepper and soy sauce. Mugi. Yeah, it's I don't know if you've had congee before, but it's basically a rice porridge. There's so many different versions of it that you can make, but I just put this together for today because it's um, daylight savings kind of snuck up on me and I'm kind of out of it. I This was the last second thing that I put together for the stream. I was gonna do a just simple basic breakfast, eggs, bacon, some hash browns, stuff like that. But then I was like, why don't I just do this instead? So yeah, rice pudding. Yeah, see, rice pudding. That is a good way to um, kind of think of it texture wise. It's like rice pudding, but not a sweet version. It's savory, and you can have it. You can find kanji where it has that same texture as rice pudding. Um, Oftentimes, you'll find it more like softer than rice pudding would be. But this is a good breakfast meal, and it's gonna keep me full throughout the day. Especially a giant bowl like this. Every time I get a bit of that cilantro, I love cilantro, so I added a bit of cilantro in here, and it just really works for me. But you can add what you like to this and make it your own. There are just so many variations of this, and I know that. Well, I've heard that in Singapore they have um, they have food stalls on. I don't know if it's like every street or whatever. There's a particular area in Singapore, up and down. It's nothing but congee, and it's so different from stall to stall. That cilantro is great. I wish we had somewhere that we could plant it right now, but we're kind of fixing up the house and everything, so we haven't gotten around to that. Mm. It's like a different flavor every time I take a bite. And that I got a bit of the onion in there. Moogie, do you do you also stream? Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like if I had a bunch of people coming over and they wanted to try something different, this is what I would make them because I don't know a lot of people who have tried it. Here in I'm in Oregon, and not a lot of people have tried it before. They're kind of turned off uh, just because it's a rice porridge kind of thing. Just the idea of it turns a lot of people off. So I think that's why not a lot of people have actually eaten it because just the idea of it will stop people, and that's one thing I think a lot of people should try to work to get over that because you don't know how much food you might love, but you haven't even given the chance to try. You've seen it at one of your favorite restaurants, but always ordered dim sum. Never tried it. Dim sum places will always have it, and if you're curious, you could try it. But they they though they I don't think they'll have one like this because I put a bunch of stuff in it. So like sometimes uh, the congee will be like a light kind of just a light dish to start your morning, but I always put a bunch of stuff in mine. It kind of makes it heavy. But I would say try it because you never know if you'll like it or not. Yeah, if I had chicken stock, I would have used chicken stock, and that would have totally like blew this up by so many notches. The flavors would have been crazy. Like when my wife makes chicken noodle soup, I'll take the leftover broth and then I'll turn it into congee, and my God, it's so amazing. Yeah, this came out pretty good, and I mean, really, a pot of rice with some water, a lot of water. Cook that down. Add whatever you want into it. You've got your version of congee. Add some broth. If you've got broth, it'll definitely intensify a lot of the flavors. And just, it's so much better with broth. I just don't have broth right now. Get a nice bit of the egg there. Yeah, I eating this right now. I honestly do not want to go to work. You can use day-old rice. A lot of people will use day-old rice, and I didn't have any that I already cooked off, so I just used uncooked rice. Some places will soak the rice overnight or soak it for a certain amount of time. Like everybody has a different way to start the congee, and like some places they'll just they have two burners and they'll just blast the heat, and then they'll have two pots and they'll just like go back and forth between the two super hot pots, and they do that a certain number of times, and then they put it into the bowl and they serve it. So it's like it's a dish that you will find so many different ways that people do it to make it their own, and they all, of course, all say that they make it the best. If I had if I had cooked rice already, I would have used it because it cuts the cooking time down a lot. But yeah, I mean, if I wanted to get really fancy with it, I could have cooked a pork belly, like did a roasted pork belly, and then slice it up and serve this over the top of the congee. But I don't have any of that right now, and just wanted to do more of a kind of American breakfast type of congee, kind of. But you know what? I don't want to stand here and eat in front of you guys for till I finish this bowl because I've not made a dent in this thing. It's still right there at the top, and then I'm gonna have to get ready for work too and do some cleanup here in the kitchen. But next time, what will I cook? My next stream is on Friday at 7. I stream on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific, and then Sunday at 10 a.m. Um, I haven't thought of what I'm gonna make yet. It kind of depends what I find at the store. Um, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna try yet. If I'm gonna try to do something where, well, what I should be doing is putting up announcements for what I'm gonna be making and stuff like that. A lot of other people do a really good job about keeping up to date with their menu that they're gonna do and stuff. I just kind of throw stuff together at the last minute, but for me, it kind of depends what's on sale and stuff like that. Stuff that I can use. I do a lot of very basic cooking right now because I my intentions are to get people comfortable with cooking and get them into the kitchen so that more people are cooking and building that skill. And a lot of people, I think, right now don't have that skill just to cook. So that's kind of my thing is trying to show some basic techniques that people can use and apply, and then build on that. So right now I do a lot of just very basic cooking stuff, and then I might get into more intermediate and more complex dishes later on. But for right now, I'm doing a lot of what you'll see basically is me cooking dinner. And when I cook dinner, I don't like to have it take very long, stuff like that. So it's basic cooking techniques. But I've done a lot of chicken right now. I might switch it over to something different, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. It just kind of depends. It's still early in the week for me. Um, so I don't have an answer right now. Um, hey Bear, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I'm still new here and trying to get comfortable with a lot of the things that I'm doing, and like I like I like doing the streaming on Twitch. It's awesome. I want to try to get a better setup where I don't have to move stuff around and everything. Oh, yeah, the jalapeno habanero chicken. That was pretty good. That was really good. I really appreciate the support, you guys. It really means a lot to me. Um, so I'm trying to give you guys back that support by teaching you as much as I can and teaching you everything that I know, just to be able to give that to you so you can use it to build up your skills and cook. You know, I think we need more people cooking in the kitchen. But yeah, doing these on Twitch is fun. I do YouTube videos, and I need to get a better idea of my process for doing Twitch. Um, a wish list. I think I have a wish list, but only right now. I've got I put another camera, the webcam that I do have. Um, so I have that on there right now, and then I was thinking of adding to the wish list so I can basically set up. So I have my camera here on my main prep counter, and then get a separate camera with an USB extension, so that I could run that across this walkway and have the other one here, pointed at the stove, so I don't have to move my cameras and anything around. I don't think I need much to really get the setup that I want. It's very minimal, but I think it works for me. I just kind of feel like I want to make the quality of the stream better, like the resolution and all that kind of stuff. I want to make it look a lot better, but I might not I might not be able to do that with this laptop. I really appreciate you guys' support. It really does mean a lot to me. Um, I've been working in the industry for over a decade and kind of got beaten down. Um, I was kind of felt like I was being held back and not getting anywhere. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing and just have fun with it, get creative again. And that's what it's been for me doing YouTube and now doing Twitch. It's brought that back. I'm rusty, but I'm getting there. Um, to put below the stream the wish list link. You don't see it there, but would be easier for those who want to help to find it and access it easier. It's on my donate page, but yeah, I don't know. Can I just add the link into the channel and then have it pop up there instead of people having to go to the donate page? I'm still new to Twitch and learning how to set everything up, so I'm not very familiar with it. I'm still learning it as I go. Like I just added to my channel the little games and stuff like that, but I keep forgetting I'm supposed to have Streamlabs open while that's running. Yeah, I mean, when people come to my stream, I want them to hopefully either learn something new, find some entertainment, or just be able to relax and have fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to work on that and get that set up. But yeah, guys, I should get done. I should finish up the stream so I can sit down and relax a little bit before I get ready for work. And oh, that's right, my clothes are in the. I need to get my clothes in the wash. I mean the dryer, or else I'm not gonna have any clothes to wear for work. So, um, you know what? Thanks for all you guys that hung out with me today. It was really fun, and I really appreciate you guys coming in. Daylight savings was horrible today, but I really appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and the show of support is always very humbling for me. I appreciate everything, and I hope you guys have a great day. Have a great have a great week. When I won't see you guys till Friday. Sam, I appreciate that. I'm trying to present it in the best way I think I can. But if it works and you guys are happy with it, I'm happy. So I might just keep it. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. But yeah, you guys are awesome. I really I love the support you guys have given me, and I appreciate it every day. And when I'm not streaming, I'm thinking about streaming. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'll catch you guys on Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific for my next stream. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter, same name, Kitchen Confidence. Instagram, I have a Facebook page, Kitchen Confidence, and you can catch up with me there. I try to post some stuff up throughout the week, and just do pictures of what I've been making through the week for dinner and stuff like that. So, yeah, connect with me there, and guys, I'll thank you so much for hanging out with me. It was breakfast congee. Came out pretty good. I still got a whole bowl full. I'll probably take to work with me, but you guys have been awesome, and I'm gonna end it here. See you guys on Friday. I hope you guys will hang out with me, where I'll be doing another cooking video, and cooking stream. I'm so used to YouTube. So yeah, see you guys hopefully, and have a great week. So as I always say, see you guys next time. And remember, kitchen confidence starts with you.